Carmelo Anthony's newest addition to his team of grifters, Charleston White, has not only revealed that Carmelo is grateful for the defamatory, even sickening videos Charleston has put out to millions of people about the Metcalf family, but now is recruiting an entire staff to train Carmelo on how to survive in prison, including a boxing coach. But if Charleston truly had Carmelo's best interest at heart, considering Charleston is a former convict himself, he would know that boxing lessons could never prepare or even help Carmelo at all when it comes to prison fights. As someone who did 10 years in prison and entered one of the country's top 10 deadliest prisons at the age of 21 and 140 pounds soaking wet, with 44 fights in my first 2 years of those 10 total in prison alone, I'll explain everything and why Carmelo is doomed. Let's get started.
Not only that, I got him because he's on house arrest. I got one of the best boxing programs in Fort Worth, Texas. And Fort Worth is known as boxing. Shout out to Trent Road. So I went and got one of the best boxing programs that I pay weekly to go out there 2 times a week so he can train, self-defense training, get this out your head. And he's studying law. So I sent him books. I gave him.
We heard 2 major things. And real quick off the bat, I know a lot of comments are going to be like, oh, this guy's an idiot. What is he even talking about? Charleston White, he sounds like a buffoon. No one cares what he has to say. A lot of hundreds of thousands, millions of people care what he has to say. And that's what I'm trying to convey to you. I'm not saying he's not ridiculous. I'm not saying he's not wrong. What I'm trying to get you to understand is, regardless of that, no matter how you feel about him and what he says, he has a strong hold on the internet and the communities that come along with just viewers on the internet and who they listen to and form their opinions behind based off what they say. Charleston White, and I don't like what he's doing one bit. But I'm just a realist here. I'm just going to tell the truth. Charleston White is I would say, in the top 10 to 20 people who are the most viral and just widespread, influential, well-known people on the internet. Top 20, 25. And he has been doing this for years and years and years. He knows how to reach millions. When he creates his videos and his content, he has the formula down pat. He knows what he's doing. And so regardless of, if you think he needs a rainbow wig and a big red nose and big shoes, he's a clown. There are millions who don't think that. And he has a lot of power and influence. So, Carmelo Anthony's family has officially paid, bought, and recruited Charleston White to be on their side because, as we know, Charleston White initially condemned Carmelo and said, I hope the worst for him. He's a thug. He's a heathen. He's a gangster. He's a murderer. He needs the maximum penalty that comes with this. I hate pretty much all, but, I hate Carmelo and everything he did and stands for. And now with just a little bit of paycheck, Charleston has done a complete 180. And so now we hear, the point of this video, Charleston being an ex-convict himself and a former Crip gang member. He knows how this stuff works. He knows how it goes. He knows how prison operates. He is publicly announcing he, out of his own pocket, is paying one of the top boxing instructors, boxing coaches, to appear 2 times a week at Carmelo Anthony's house, since Carmelo's on house arrest and can't go to the actual boxing gym. He's going to show up to his house and teach him how to box. And then he says something very interesting. So he can box and throw punches and get that out of his mind. Get what out of his mind? His aggression, his tendency towards violence, his willingness to attack people and throw punches or sling weapons into people's chests. Get what out of his mind? You heard it. Get that out of his mind. Get what out of his mind? It's almost like you're talking about a demon that's in his mind. A demon that's hell-bent on harming others. Get that out of your mind. Find a stress relief. But really what's going on here, Charleston White is trying to showcase that, hey, we're preparing Karmelo Anthony to be able to go toe-to-toe with anybody and handle his own. Keep your chin up and your chest out and your hands up. Be a man. And we're going to coach you on how to survive prison. Here's the problem with that. And Charleston White, he should know because he's done time in prison. But honestly, as we know, Charleston White heavily condones snitching, snitching on gang members. I mean, everything controversial in the street life thug world, Charleston, he's on the opposite side. He's on the police side. He's on the, oh, we need to snitch on people. We need to tell on people when they commit murders. We need to tell on gang members when they shoot people. We need to, and you know what? I agree with that. And that is why it's heartbreaking to see what Charleston's doing and what he stooped to just for a few dollars. When I know, Charleston, you are already making a large amount of money. So I can't imagine the price that the Anthony family has paid you to come around and say these things. But I guess anybody can be bought, right, for the right price. Charleston White, he's been locked up and he's been well and deep enough into the gang culture and lifestyle to know hiring a boxing coach. He's like, we got the best, the creme de la creme, the blue ribbon boxing coach in the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area coming to Karmelo's home 2 times a week to teach him boxing. Brother, let's be real, Charleston. Can we be honest? Can we be honest? As I've been there, you've been there. Let's be real. Boxing only helps you in a boxing match. If you really cared about that boy, you'd have got him a wrestling coach. You'd have got him a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. Because let me tell you, I've been in 44 physical altercations. Why do I know it's 44? Because I went to solitary confinement for 45 days, only supposed to be there 30, but there was no bed space. They had nowhere to put me when my 30 days were up, so I had to stay there an extra 2 weeks. I had 45 days in an empty, white, blank cell to occupy my own mind and entertain myself. And so what I did amongst a number of things, one of those things was I counted up how many fights, how many physical violent altercations I have been in since going to jail/prison. 44 in my first 2 years, and I weighed 140 pounds, and I was 21 years old. I was a pipsqueak. I didn't know how to fight. Sure, I had a 1, 2, 3 fights in the school bathroom. Oh, the principal's coming, break it up, break it up. Far, far off from the reality of we're locked in the cell together. No one's coming to save you. The doors and walls are so thick, I could be choked to death and no one will come. I mean, every fight you have is literally a fight for your life. And there's no weight classes. They don't say, hey, whoa, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. You're 272 pounds, 6'7". He's 6 foot, 140 pounds. You can't. Whoa. This isn't fair. No, this ain't the UFC, baby. You'll get the crap beat out of you. I got the crap beat out of me. Probably more than 22 out of the 44 times I got in a fight. But what I can tell you is from 44 fights, just in those 2 years alone, I know a lot about how prison fights go. And let me tell you, boxing ain't gonna help you one bit. There ain't no distance and, jab, right hook, uppercut, back back, oh, body shot, oh, back up, oh, jab, jab, oh, buddy. Do you understand? There is every single cell might be like 5 feet by 4 feet. Like, let's not exaggerate. Maybe like 7 feet by 6 feet. I mean, I remember laying down. I'm not even a super tall guy. I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot. I remember laying down in my bunk. My ankles would be hanging off the edge of the bunk. Like these rooms are not built for big people. And there's a lot of big people in there. Karmelo Anthony is not even 6 foot. That's what's funny. You already have a disadvantage. Listen here, Mike Tyson, Karmelo Tyson. Every single area you will ever find yourself in within a prison is this close. It's all this close together. I mean, you could turn your head to sneeze and somehow a couple particles will still end up hitting the neck of your cellmate. I mean, these are all close quarters. Even when you get out of your cell, all the hallways are like this freaking narrow. I mean, you got to scooch by people. Prison is optimized to hold the maximum amount of people with the least possible give a crapness. Yes, I made that term up. Give a crapness about how much space you have and how comfortable you are in that space. They're going to squish you in there and jam as many people as they can in there. Period. They don't give a crap. You don't need space. You don't need to kick your feet up. All these are tight, confined areas. There ain't no dancing around, bebopping, bobbing and weaving and swerving and ducking and uppercutting and jab, lead with the left. Oh, body shot to the rib. Buddy, every single fight I've been in and every single fight I've seen, which leads into the hundreds, within 5 to 6 seconds, them boys are wrapping up with each other. They got their arms around each other. They're wrestling. They're slinging each other. They're grabbing their head. They're biting their chops. Seeing people get their cheeks bitten. I have a wound right here. I've actually made a video about this and I've shown it. I'm not going to lift my shirt up right here on the video, but I've made a whole video about this. I had a chunk bitten out of my chest. That is I still have the scar tissue to this day. It turned yellow, green, black, blue, purple, every color of the rainbow. I had a chunk bitten out of my chest by someone I got in a fight with, and within 7 seconds, we were grabbing each other, and he nuzzled his little face into my chest and ripped a chunk of flesh out of my pec. And it hurt. It hurt. Boxing ain't gonna help you, buddy. If Charleston really cared, because Charleston's been there and he knows how it goes, he should know better. He's just doing this for, just to look good on his end and hold up his end of the bargain. He's getting paid. But honestly, I think deep down, like he initially stated, he condemns Karmelo. He thinks he really strongly stands behind these thugs and these gangster wannabes or these gangster real life gangsters, these actual dangerous gangsters who grew up in the hood, grew up in the street life. Of course, that's not Karmelo. Karmelo was a privileged little rich boy who was listening to Lil Baby and like all these rappers, Gucci Mane and heard all these gangster rappers, and he wanted to be a gangster too in his gated community. And so he went out and murdered a student. Charleston, I truly believe he condemns Karmelo. And so when Karmelo's family pulled up and was like, you're the perfect candidate to be on our team. You have so much influence. You can rally the black community behind you. Everyone listens to what you say because they do. They do. I don't care how you feel about him. I'm just telling you the truth. He has an army that will follow and listen to what he says. Charleston White. He took that check and flipped the script, changed his whole opinion, and said, Karmelo's good. Austin bad. I'm going to spend a fraction of this money hiring a boxing coach to help Karmelo, just to show Carmelo's family how much I care about him. We're going to get him trained to survive prison. If he really deep down, I think Charleston's the ultimate snake and backstabber, because he's taken the money to advocate for Karmelo, but then at the end of the day, he's hiring a boxing coach, which but buddy, get a wrestling coach, get a Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach. Boxing is not going to help you anywhere except a boxing ring. And I think in 2025, we all know that. And here's another thing. Here's why it's just even such a more bad look. Because as I've talked about in other videos, just like with Dominique Alexander, who they fired now, they probably heard my videos and were like, you know what, this guy, JSP's right. Jumpsuit Pablo, he's on to something. This guy's a piece of crap, and he's making Karmelo look weak, and he's putting him in danger by the physical actions he's doing with Karmelo. Dominique Alexander is on the news camera, grabbing his hand, leading him like a little boy. Guess what? There's plenty of nasty, creepy, evil, vile, dangerous, humongous, deadly inmates who are going to see that on the news in Texas. And they're going to be like, interesting. I'm going to grab that boy. As soon as that boy walks through the cell block, I'm going to grab his hand and I'm going to lead him to my cell, because he's compliant. He's submissive. He does what older, grown, more masculine seeming men tell him to do, because he's so young, naive, and green, and unsure of himself and insecure. That's why he has an identity crisis, wanting to be such a thug and gangster, which he's not. But he wanted to be so bad that he went way too far and murdered Austin Metcalf. They're going to pick up on that instantly. And so here's another thing they're going to pick up on. They're going to see, and just for anyone who doesn't know, I know some people are like, you always repeat this. That's because there's still so many new viewers who don't realize they're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they don't realize it's 2025. This ain't the Shawshank Redemption. Every inmate has a cell phone or has access to a cell phone in 2025. And if you don't believe me, take your stupid little butt over to TikTok and type in prison inmate TikTok live. I guarantee you 150 videos will pop up of inmates using their cell phone to go live within their prison cells. Inmates follow what's going on in their city and in their state. They are following this case like a hawk. And let me tell you, all they got to see is, Charleston White is hiring a boxing coach to teach Karmelo. You know what that tells them? Carmelo's a wimp. I would use the P word, but I don't want to cuss. Carmelo's a wimp. He's a wussy with a P. He's a wussy. He doesn't know how to fight. He's a little coward. He needs a coach to come teach him how to box. Buddy, I don't care if you got the meanest uppercut in the world. You think them boys, let me tell you, this is another point. The only way you're getting a fair one-on-one is if you're respected in the cell block. Karmelo will not be respected because he has openly false claimed to be a part of the insane vice lords. He is doomed. No gang ever, black or white, will ever want to claim him. On top of that, he is already his team has doomed him by doing this. But his team has spoken on his behalf and said, we are publicly declaring war on white supremacy. What do you have? The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, the white supremacists, they saw that. So they're even more inclined, and they have already confirmed they want to put their hands on him. You have no prison listen, prison is politics. You have no prison politics. That's a term for a reason. Prison politics. Google it. I bet you something pops up. Prison politics exists for a reason. You have to know how to move around and socialize and network and be in people's good graces in the right places and stuff, or else no one cares what happens to you. When no one cares what happens to you, you don't get a fair one-on-one so you can throw your stupid little jabs and hooks and uppercuts and bob and weave, ooh. Round 7, no, buddy. It's life or death, and it's happening right now, and it's going to be 4 seconds maximum before someone 70 pounds larger than you and 3 inches taller, who's been there for 27 years, grabs hold of you and slams your head into a stainless steel toilet or a iron bed frame or a concrete cement wall or floor, or picks up a padlock and hits you in the head with it, or picks up a knife and kills you with it. Ain't no boxing. Boxing. No, it's not happening. And these inmates, they're going to watch this content and they're in this interview, and they're going to be like, oh, wow. Karmelo is so afraid he's having to have someone step in and teach him how to box. Weak, weakness, prey, submissive, victim, target, fresh meat. That's all it screams. It doesn't scream, oh my Lord, he's learned how to throw an uppercut. I better watch my chin. Mm-mm. No. It's, look at this little wussy. That's it. That's it. Buddy, boxing is wrestling, grappling, jiu-jitsu, close quarter combat. There is not a space in prison at all where you could lay down on the floor and stretch your arms out in front of you and your legs out behind you and not touch a wall. That is how small every single area within every prison is. Boxing? What do you... He's doomed. So all this prison coaching, I just think it's hilarious. You're trying to train this dude, and clearly Charleston knows that he's going to prison, you know, as much as he wants to claim, oh, you're innocent. Oh, if you just hear the side of his story, oh, you know, no. He was bullied, self-defense. Charleston, if you believe that, there is no need to teach this man how to fight. And then on top of that, you got Charleston talking about reading out text messages right here. Very interesting, Karmelo. You are glad and proud and grateful and thankful that Charleston has put out all these videos saying Austin Metcalf was a drug user. He was on fentanyl. He was jealous of the size of your body part between your legs. Let's call it a Johnson. By the way, brother, at this point, hire me. Hire me as your prison coach, because I'll tell you right now, I don't think you need Charleston White, one of the most top 25 viral people on the internet, seen by millions anytime he ever puts out a video ever talking about how large your little member is. Oh, I'm sure there's no inmates hearing that salivating at the mouth. What is he doing? Do you see what I'm saying? Charleston White wants this kid to get effed up. I'm telling you. I'm calling it now. I'm telling you. Something sinister is happening. Charleston's out here putting out, oh, did everybody hear? Did everybody hear about how large Karmelo is down there? Between his legs? Huh? Did anybody hear? He's packing heat. He's got a nuclear missile down there. Did everybody know that? Is everybody aware of that? Brother, there are deadly dangerous inmates hearing that, getting worked up and excited. What are you doing? Why are you talking about this? Barely 18. He just turned 18. I could throw a rock farther than the date that he just turned 18. And you talking about how large this kid is down there. But you know what? I ain't too mad at it, because at the end of the day, Karmelo's over here texting Charleston about how grateful he is for what Charleston is putting the Metcalf family through with all the defamation, slander, drug accusations, abuse accusations, deadbeat father as accusations, and more. So you know what? You reap what you sow. You keep working on that bob and weave, Karmelo. I'm sure when you're taking a piss at the urinal and someone comes up behind you and plunges an ice pick into your neck, all your training will pay off. That's just what I think. Let me know what you think. Until then, see you next time.